When you walk down the street, how often do people quote back lines to you from shows or whatever? What type of things do they say?
We get a lot of, first of all, I get a lot of "Hey George," which, silly me, I don't normally think people are calling me. We get a lot of "Hey Jerry, where's Jerry, where's Kramer?" And then we get little aside comments like, "Are you master of your domain?" You know, which even if you know what that's about, is an odd question to ask somebody about first meeting. You know, we get, people just want us to know that they're in the know, and that there's little subtle line callbacks. There's not one in particular, other than there's nothing wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that is a big one that we hear a lot. And, you know, they're watching this stuff like it's Star Trek. I used to be able to quote every line of the original series, and by gosh, we're in that journal now.
When people come up to you, what kind of lines do they start quoting to you?
Oh, I guess it comes from the contest. I'm out. That sort of a thing. It used to be when you know, Kramer had done a small scene in a Woody Allen movie. These pretzels are making me thirsty. That was the only line he had. So people used to say that. I'd walk into a restaurant, somebody go, "Hey, these pretzels are making me thirsty."
Well, how long did it take you to get used to that?
Some time, actually.
Yeah. Well, do you have
I'm still adjusting to it, because it's hard for me to get around. The character has become so popular, and people do indeed associate me to that character, so wherever I go, I can be Kramer.
Have you been amazed at how many doors the Seinfeld experience has opened for you?
I was very successful BS before Seinfeld, but Seinfeld really, everyone watches it. Everyone is thrilled with it, all ages, like Toy Story, all ages. And of course it opened doors, and it was a delightful 6 years. It was wonderful.
Your memorable appearance on an episode of Seinfeld.
Yes, the toilet paper episode.
Yes. Now, what kind of comments did you get after that appearance?
Well, I'd be in a bathroom, and people would be like, you know, someone would see me go in the bathroom, they'd be like, you know, "Can I borrow a square? Can you spare a square?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't pee in peace. What has Seinfeld done for me?" But it was a joy doing that show. I had a good time.
I get people coming up to me on the street saying, "Crazy Joe, how's it going?" Things like that. Or, you know, people are pretty nice about it usually. I've had some people are very shy about it. I was at an airport once, and this little 5-year-old girl came up to me and said, "Are you Crazy Joe?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And I could see the parents kind of snickering and hiding like 20 feet away, but they couldn't do it, but they sent their daughter.
Your episode of Seinfeld, very memorable. What kind of feedback did you get since that episode aired?
Oh, I'll tell you, the Smog Strangler, people come up to me quite often, and you know, they laugh, and they go, "You're the Smog Strangler." And also I've had people tell me about, you know, tipping chambermaids, which was a joke in the episode. It's amazing how much people pay attention to that show.
Your appearance, they had to have an intervention, Jerry's friends, about your character. Now, how much feedback did you get after that aired?
It's so unbelievable to me that you can literally work like 5 days and appear for maybe, 6 or 7 minutes total in that episode, and more people will recognize me from that than any movie that you work your butt off on, you know what I mean? And it's so, you can't even call it work doing that show, because it was so much fun, and it was such an awesome thing to get, because it is like a legendary show, and it is one of those funny things where, you know, Jerry's had so many girlfriends, and it's sort of like, what is the problem this girlfriend had? And it was one of those things where he couldn't find it. It was almost like a Twilight Zone-y episode where he couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and there really was nothing wrong, but I was just this loser.
Well, were men scared of you after that?
You mean if I checked my messages and no one called? Or it's so funny because so many people were like, "Now, were you actually a loser, or did he just not get that you were cool?" Like, it was so funny, and that's what's so funny about Seinfeld. It's like, you have no idea what they're thinking, and you have no clue what the purpose of that episode was.
Question about like bit parts in TV shows. The line about "it's time for your sponge bath." What impact has that had on your career, and any feedback at all for that brief appearance?
You know what? Not really. I was on camera for so few seconds. That was a big break for me. I was very excited to get that job, and to actually, those were my, first lines as an actor, so to speak. So that was exciting. As far as a breakthrough, it's more so just been a fun thing to bring up, and oh yeah, that was you. But it really hasn't catapulted me to where I am.
When the whole car thing came up, did they ask you beforehand, or did it come as a complete surprise?
I got the word. They said, would you do a Seinfeld? Somebody had called. I said, would I do it? I said, yes, I would do a Seinfeld. These guys are terrific, So they were so pleased. Everybody was so excited. I said, one of them was so excited to get me. And I thought they would have me do a walk-on or just some silly thing, whatever it would be. And they sent me over a script, and every other page was my name. Every page was my name. The whole thing was about my car, And then I was had to look hard to see if there was anything for me, because it was a thick script and there was only one page where I was in it, and I had to read it carefully. And then it said, and then he pulls Kramer's arm into the car and bites him fiercely on the forearm or something, whatever it was. I said, perfect, this is a perfect thing for me to do. I can contribute to this show.